Angela Russell, New Orleans East. I'm not paid. Okay. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Good.
Last year, I spoke in front of this council. I spoke about how the gas plant affected me and my family and my community. I'm here to do that again. I live in Little Woods. My mom first moved me and my siblings from the action of Mid-City to Little Woods, and I was angered and confused at first. When I first moved to my neighborhood, I could even see that my new neighborhood was neglected by the city. When I walked to my bus stop in the mornings, there were barely any street lights. I would walk with my younger brother and the other children down the street in the dark. Our sidewalks were mostly covered with grass. The abandoned apartments down my block had stripped cars in the parking lot. Stray pits walked my neighborhood, and weeds crowded my street along with litter. These issues aren't a distant memory. Some of these issues have been solved, but others still persist. I was and still am angered by this, and just generally my neighborhood being treated this way. But out of all the issues in my neighborhood, I truly found beauty in the nature that I was surrounded by. I got the childhood I wouldn't have gotten if I grew up in Mid-City. I live walking distance from a wildlife refuge. My siblings and I would play with our dog freely down the stretch of the land, and I could see the stars as clear as day at night. I spent the summers at the levee, breathing in fresh air. I got a bit of my mom's childhood growing up in the country, but still living in the city. I don't want all of those things to be contaminated by a gas plant. I come from a community of hardworking people who can make something out of little to nothing. That strength is my community, and that strength is New Orleans. So why has our city continued to treat New Orleans East like the underdog? And why is Entergy allowed to do it?
That's your time. Monique, you want to give her a minute? Yes. All right, you got another minute.
And why is Entergy allowed to do it? This is environmental racism at its finest. Would this have been passed if it was suggested to be placed near the mansions of St. Charles? We are people, and we are present. We represent New Orleans just as much as any other place. I asked the council to show us what a fair process is. I asked for this burden to not be placed on my community. The Michoud area was one of the first areas to be repopulated after the hurricane. Our community has been dedicated to the city, so will the city be dedicated to us? Thank you.
Thank you.